Boom, coming in hot, Chinchy. How we feeling, cuz?
I'm feeling great. I'm starting to get festive in the holiday Thanksgiving spirit because we do this every year. Jess and I, within a
Yeah.
couple days of Thanksgiving, we watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, bro. We watched it last night.
Oh, you guys. Oh yeah, dude, love that movie.
You got to watch it in the next 2 days because it's great. I would argue it's the greatest Thanksgiving movie of all time. Everybody
Oh,
thinks it's like a holiday movie. It's a Thanksgiving. He's trying to get home for Thanksgiving.
dude, I gotta write that down because I gotta get the kids together and watch that. You're right. He's like, you're going the wrong way.
Dude, watch it like tomorrow night is great, or watch it on Thanksgiving night is great too. Dude, it's so funny. You and I say that on this show all the time. That scene is like actually like 15 minutes long, and it starts with him like falling asleep and his jacket gets caught when he's driving and all that stuff. Like, and that goes for like 5 minutes, John Candy, and he's singing a everybody's doing a mess around, and he's playing a piano on a thing. You're good, dude. What do you got? Light in your eyes? You're getting
No,
shine.
trying to fix that. Trying to fix
Anyway, so like there's that part, and then there's a secondary part was where you're going the wrong way, and Candy's doing a.
yeah. Going the wrong way. And the pillows part. Is
Oh,
so
dude,
good.
the pillows part is unbelievable.
Between two pillows. Those are pillows.
Those aren't pillows. The other part, so when they get up and like they're going, the best. I forgot about this line too. That's underrated. They're trying to like get manly again, and Steve Martin goes, "What'd you think that Bears game? Huh? Bears are doing good this year." And you're like, "Yeah, go Bears!" Like, you got to watch it. Grab the kids,
So good.
everybody. Grab your kids, grab your family, and sit around and watch that movie. And even like little kids can watch it because it's so funny. John Candy's like the funniest dude on earth.
Dude,
I miss
Candy's
him. We miss him.
I mean, rip to him. I can't believe he's not with us anymore.
Unbelievable. All right. Hey, so before we get into like more deep dives, let's talk about where you are other than us. You're hanging with the competition, but they're not our competition. These are our brethren. What just dropped today?
Yeah, you know what, dude? This guy's one of the best in the business. Ed Mylett. I was when I went on Jim Rome's podcast. Rome's been a good friend of mine for years, and we had a great conversation. It was like a couple weeks ago, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. We went on. We just got talking about life more than baseball. We were going to talk baseball. Next thing you know, we're talking about our dads. We're talking about life. We're talking about growth mindset. We're talking about the process of life, all the stuff that we talk about, Chinch, and the stuff that we like, the mental performance stuff, and mindset, really mindset stuff. And Jimmy put me in touch with Ed Mylett because they're good friends. And Ed was like, hey, I'd love to have you on the show, out here in LA. So I went out to LA a little bit ago. Yeah. Went out to LA a little bit ago, and if you haven't checked it out, check out the Ed Mylett podcast. I mean, he's one of the first off, one of the greatest dudes you'll meet.
Mm-hmm.
High energy, one of the biggest entrepreneurs. The guy's worth like $500 million. I only say that because he's a hard worker. He gets after it. He lives the life that he says he lives. And just a really good dude. But he's such an inspirational guy, such an impactful guy on mindset stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind enough to ask me to come on. I was very honored, dude.
Yeah.
Very humble. And I went on his podcast and we talked for like an hour, bro. And we just got after it, man. In and out, talking about the journey, talking about, I talk about the powers and the gaps. And it was a great podcast. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Ed Mylett podcast, one of the biggest podcasts in the world, really.
Totally. And hey, all you Ed Mylett fans, by the way, if you don't mind, you could just throw a little click and a like and a subscribe on our show too. If you got a second, if you got a finger to drop on it, we'll take a couple of his followers because he's got a few.
Ed Mylett's got like 2.3 billion. We got like
2.3. Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, let's move on. Wait, first, I'm getting distracted by something. You guys don't do Louis Vuitton like all the. I'm surprised, Sarah. That's not Louis Vuitton behind you. That's like men's leather, huh?
Sarah's one of those people. She goes to Chinatown and gets the fake ones. And
yeah, that's a good move. My mom always did that.
She says no way. She said that's real. Is that real? This bag right here.
Oh no, that's a TJ Maxx bag.
That's TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx. Yeah, you got to balance the budget. That's a good move.
Yeah, she makes everything look expensive, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. She's got good taste. All right. So moving on, we got a little paparazzi incident yesterday. Aaron Judge walking off a plane, walking through the San Fran airport, and somebody threw a camera in his face, and it blew up his spot a little bit. Aaron Judge is in San Fran this week to meet with the Giants. Now, before we get into the X's and O's and if he goes there, I was thinking like, you played baseball. I know that nobody notices you in Secaucus, but I'm sure there have been times when you were a professional player where you had to deal with like some paparazzi. Was it whether it be Griffey when you were with the Red Sox? Like, what is that like to get off a plane or walk out somewhere and somebody's got their camera in your face?
Dude, well, first off, one thing I've realized in baseball and in life, there's just a different level of celebrity. You always talk about Jordan's a prisoner of his own fame. Elvis was a prisoner of his own fame. The Beatles, like Ken Griffey Jr. was the same way. When he came to Cincinnati, he was a prisoner, man. Like he'd walk outside and like it was just such a pain. I remember one day we went to lunch, me, him, and Dunner and Lark or something. We walk out. We're in New York. We're playing the Mets, but we walk out noon. We have a 7 o'clock game, so we go to lunch, bro. Never seen anything like it. It was like wham! It was like bees to honey, bro.
Really?
So many people just swarmed us, and I remember Griff being like, "Hey, man, whoa!" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this? Crazy cameras, autograph guys, everything." And they're, and I remember Junior just being like, "Hey, man, we just want to go to lunch. We just want to go to lunch. Can everyone back up, So anyway, we walked about a block, and this swarm followed us for like a block. It was incredible. And like I turned into like a security guard, like, hey, back it up. Griffey's not signing today or whatever. But like I said, sometimes you see guys not sign here and there, but like you don't understand what it's like to be them at times. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure Aaron Judge is going to get that, has that same treatment, and he's 6'8". That doesn't help. Like,
No, that does not help. Sore thumb.
Dustin Pedroia could hide. He'd just be like, hey,
yeah.
Dustin Pedroia, like, no, he guy's 5'6". He's in the freaking basket. Aaron Judge coming out, he's 6'8". You know what I mean? And
you're gonna look at that guy anyway.
Yeah,
that's funny. Actually,
go ahead, Chinch.
No, what reminded me, the only time I've ever kind of like not like being at All-Star games with you and all the other players and stuff like that. Like obviously everybody's locked in, whatever. But I remember that this happened one random night. I don't remember if it was the Minnesota All-Star Week or the Cincy All-Star Week, but you and I were there, and you texted me, and it was me and Rolenbeck were hanging out, and you were like, "Hey, you and Rolenbeck, come by. Dunner has like a steak dinner for all of us, and we just finished eating, but we're just sitting around having a couple of beers. Come by and meet the guys." And so me and Rolenbeck, of course, we were like 25 years old. We're like, we're gonna go party with. Where is it? Oh, was it in Chicago? I think you're right. So we meet you guys, and we go in, and you guys were so awesome to us, and you guys were just sitting telling awesome stories, and Dunner was hysterical, man. You guys were so funny. But then me and Rolenbeck go to walk outside to leave. You guys were still in there, and we get swarmed. We got swarmed at the door in Chicago, walking out of this like restaurant, and I was like, "Oh, whoa!" And I was like, "What is this?" They were all waiting for you guys inside, and they thought we were like just two players, but they thought like it was going to be like Adam Dunn and Sean Casey walking out, but it was Chinch and Rolenbeck, who looked like an ugly version of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And we were like, whoa, but it was like a little scary to walk out and see people just start running towards you. I don't know how you deal with that stuff.
Well, dude, it was I think it was even heightened when I was in Boston in 2008, man. There's so many Red Sox fans all over the world, literally all over the world. When we went to Japan, there was a ton of Red Sox fans. But they're everywhere, and that was when Big Pop. It was 2008. So it was Big Poppy. It was Manny Ramirez. It was Jason Varitek. There were some big dogs. You know what I mean? And they had already won the championship. They were like royalty. They had just won in 2007. A lot of times when we would land, and in certain cities, we'd come into the hotel. We'd come in the back entrance. We'd come in through the kitchen.
Wow.
So many people in the lobby, and so many people in the front where the bus would usually, like when I was with the Reds pre-Griffey, we'd pull up. There'd be like no one there. The bellman would be there. Like, hey, how you doing, bellman? But when Griffey came, and then when I was with the Red Sox, I was like, whoa, man, this is a different level of celebrity. But yeah, Big Poppy and those guys. I remember one time, Chinch, me, I was kind of signing. I always signed for everybody, you know what I mean? Because
first,
I didn't,
of course,
had like the medium star treatment. I didn't have the crazy, so I could sign and I could get on my way. And I remember in Boston sometimes, like even Euclid would get crushed, right? You walk outside, all these people. So this one day, the security guard that runs for the Red Sox, we're going to the van early. It's me, Manny, Uke, and Big Poppy, and we're getting in the van and we're getting ready to go. We're in Baltimore. I can't remember where we're at. We might even be in New York. I think we're playing. And we're taking the van early to the yard, like 1 o'clock. I remember the security guard grabs me. He's like, "Hey, Case." He's like, "Just this one time, bro. can you please not sign for anybody? Because I don't want, I just want to get these guys in the van and get going. So I'm like, no problem, man. So here we are. It's one of the first times I ever walked by fans, and they're like, the hell? And then they're like, what the hell, Casey? And I'm like, I got strict orders from the security guard that we got to get in that van and get going. And I'm not deviating.
No, that's why you always need a bad cop. Like when I would ever produce you guys, when I go to events, like, oh my God, the worst is Harold's the worst. Harold Reynolds will take a picture with any single human being on the planet, and he's on every single show that he, at that network. So like he's got to be places at all times. He's stopping, he's shaking hands, he's kissing babies, and so like me and Robeck too, we used to have to run over and be like, "You gotta go, we gotta get you out of here, and he'd be like, "They gotta get me out of here, sorry." But like it would take like 45 minutes to get him from like the field to the.
Yeah, he gives everyone the time of day. He's like
nicest guy ever. All right, so hey, let's go. If you're San Fran, like I love this kind of shit, like. Remember Blue Chips, the basketball movie with like Nick Nolte and Shaq and those guys? Like when he's like, "What? We gave one guy a tractor? We gave one guy a tractor?" Like, what do you? Obviously, what do? You take them out, you wine and dine them. I want to think about like how are they? They obviously have their entire PR staff, right? They have their whole marketing staff. Like you want them to walk. They're gonna walk them into the stadium. Do you put like a Judge montage on a thing? Like, how would you recruit him if you're San Fran right now? What do you do? Take him out some crab legs or something?
Dude, you're listen, first off, you're calling ahead of time. Like, you call the owner of the restaurant. You're like, we got Judge coming in. You got 5 or 6 restaurants on high alert. Hey, listen, you got Morton Steakhouse. You got Capitol Grill. You got, you got the big seafood place that's right on the water. I can't remember. It's right on the. You got them. You got everyone. Boom. You got them on the bat phone. Like, Aaron Judge is coming your way. We need seafood tower. We need 32-ounce ribeye on the bone, tomahawk ribeye with the big bone. We need a side of freaking, lobster back. You're going down the list, dude. You're making sure we are going to wine dine Aaron Judge and make sure he hits every hot spot that San Fran can offer. And we're bringing up the truck, and then we're going to offer him $300 million.
Yeah, right. That's all extra. I'm sure they got like. I wonder how that works. I'm gonna look into this. Like, I guarantee, like they probably take him on a real estate tour, right? They probably show him like 6 freaking mansions. Like, hey, by the way, we're gonna pay you enough that you can move into this place tomorrow, cash, right? He can buy the whole strip. He can buy. He can buy the entire strip that what is that? That Full House was on, like where Full House, where the Danny Tanner and all them. He could buy the entire block and just turn it into one condo. Man, it's got to be good.
I think that's the biggest thing. I remember when John Lester ended up going to the Cubs. Remember, they're like, "Where's he going to go? He's going to go back to the Red Sox." Theo Epstein, like, talk about, they had a whole montage video up on the big board. Like, here you go, John. This is why you need to come to the Cubs. Boom. They put it up there like, and John Lester wins the World Series for the Chicago Cubs and blah, 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 blah. Because they weren't that good at the time. They had a lot of young players.
Yeah, no, he was the key. He was the key to their future.
Lester was the key. So, dude, there's no doubt, bro. They got a montage for Aaron Judge. With all the digital stuff they can do now, he's in a San Fran uniform. He's hitting bombs into the bay. There's people diving to get his ball. You know what I mean? Dude, they're going to. You think Barry
Bonds shows up this week to help recruit him, right? I bet Bonds shows up somewhere.
Yeah, dude. Willie Mays will show up. They're all showing up, dude.
Wow.
Every great Giant will be there if that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's hard to say no. Like, don't you? I remember like being recruited for college baseball. This is a fucking completely lower level thing, but I do remember like feeling bad, turning down coaches who really, really recruited me. And I remember, I forgot who it was, but some older kid told me, who was like already in college, like a good greatest piece of advice was like, hey, no matter what, they're using you to get you there. So just use them right back. This isn't a personal thing. It's your first business decision of your life. So make it a business decision. Don't feel, no hard feelings. Although I do remember the head coach of University of Rhode Island cursed me out and hung up on me when I said I wasn't. I swear to God.
No way.
I don't even remember his name because I remember like I called him because I mean, dude, I wanted to go there. I had a full ride there in University of Rhode Island. Like they took me to a soccer party on the beach. These kids lived in a townhouse on the beach in Rhode Island, and I was like, and a recruiting trip, you're like, I'm going here. And everybody's cheering for you. And then I called the guy like 3 weeks later, and I was like, yeah, I'm out. And he was like, what?
What a Columbia.
Yeah, exactly. But he went off on me for like a minute 30 and then just hung up. And I was like, I'll never forget. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My dad was at work. My mom was like, cleaning in the other room. And I just was like, I got to get this over with. I was like dreading calling this guy. But I called this guy and he just fucking cursed me out. And that's when I realized, I'm like, so he doesn't care about me as a human. He just wanted my skill set there. So fuck it. Anyway.
He's just he needed that. Would you play center field, right?
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah. Oh,
You
man.
were his.
It would have been nice living on a beach though for 4 years. Now that I think about it. But anyway, all right. So let's get into some of these other things. This is a different swing in a different way. Judge might wind up being a Hall of Famer one day, but we got the whole ballot 2023 ballot released. God, there's so many ways to go with this. Let's start with. We'll start with where you want to start with. There are some names that you wrote down before we started that you're like, I want to talk about these guys. So start talking about some of the guys you're talking.
Well, dude, a couple guys that I wanted to bring up was Todd Helton. Todd Helton. I think the fact that Larry Walker got in a couple years ago helps Todd Helton because people, the Colorado effect, this and that. You go back and look at Helton's numbers. I did this on MLB Network last night. You look at Helton's numbers on the road, bro. He was a 287 hitter with like an 859 OPS. Daniel Dowd made a great analogy too. He said, hey, listen, he goes, it's like a different game. When you're in Colorado, the ball doesn't move as much. So you're seeing curveballs differently, sliders different. They're not sliding the way they are on the road. So then your eyes adjusted that in a 7-game series. Now you go on the road. That curveball's down a little more. The slider's got more bite to it. The two-seamer fades a little bit more. It was a great point to make. Like, maybe it's harder playing in Colorado, dude. Maybe it's harder when you go on the road to keep the numbers where you need to keep them. He's a career 316 hitter, 2,500 hits. He's got almost 400 homers, dude, and almost 600 doubles.
Right.
That's a big. Now, listen, when you're in the big leagues, Chinch, I don't care what anyone says, writers or anything. You look around, you go, who the big leaguers are. You know who the Cooperstown
Hall of Fame
guys. Pujols, he's Cooperstown. Miguel Cabrera, he's Cooperstown. Verlander, he's going to be Cooperstown. Oh, Helton, he's 100% Cooperstown. I think he's up to 52% of the vote.
Yeah.
So I think he's moving that direction.
Well, yeah, he's gone from 16.5% to 29.2% to 44.9%, and then he's at 52. That's a really good trend as far as the guys like Ken Rosenthal tell us. That's a great trend, but that Larry Walker, by the way, jumped 22% in 1 year to get in, but that was his final year. The thing is that's annoying is like these guys don't feel the same sense of urgency because they're like, oh, like the writers. A lot of these guys are like, he's got 3 more years. I'm not putting him on yet. And whatever. They all have their own reasoning behind stuff, but hopefully he gets in.
No, I agree, dude. I agree. Helton needs to get in, and I believe he will.
Okay.
The other guy that I can't believe isn't in the race, Scott Rolen, dude. You want to talk about as a player watching a guy going, that guy's 100% Cooperstown. Like, dude, Scott Rolen would hit the first baseman in the chest every time. As a first baseman, you're always thinking, hey, expect the bad throw. That's your first. Scott Rolen, dude, he'd make these diving plays, like stupid plays. And when usually a guy makes a dive, they get up and it's in the dirt. They just got to get rid of it. They got to change up grip. They're just letting it go. Dude, Rolen would make the diving play, like down the line, come up, boom, right in the chest. Hit Pujols right in the chest. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Scott Rolen, bro, is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest third basemen ever. Like you said the other day, there's not a ton of third basemen in Cooperstown. Right. Boom. He should be in Cooperstown.
He also wins, in my personal opinion, the widest shoulders I've ever seen in the history of my life. I'll never forget when I met him, because this guy, Judd Birch, who was, first of all, invented the term web gems. Judd Birch, one of the original Baseball Tonight producers ever at ESPN, he was a huge, maniacal Phillies fan. So he always, would, when we were out, at All-Star games back then, he'd always run up to Rolen, who knew him, and, shake his hand, whatever. And I remember looking at this guy from behind, and I, tapped my buddy Derek, and I'm like, look at his back. His back wouldn't fit into the screen that we're on right now. I'm like, this dude is a beast. So he, by the way, he only got 10.2% in his first year, but then they cleared out some crowded names, and he rose to 63.2. So he is, he's right there. He's right there. All right, you got one more guy?
Two more real quick guys.
Go for it.
Billy Wagner, closer for the Astros when I was a dude. Come on, dude. 101, nasty. He was a shutdown closer. Went to the Phillies, shut down there, shut down Braves. For me, and I think his K per 9 is one of the best in the history of the game.
Yeah.
He, for me, is a Hall of Famer. And one of his teammates, man, Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent has the most home runs by a second baseman. People just talk about his defense and stuff like that. We need to stop that stuff. Jeff Kent's a Hall of Famer. I think the reason he might not be in already is because he wasn't the best. Not to say he was a bad guy, but his rap was, he didn't love the media.
Difficult.
And those difficult guys. And those are the guys voting. So let's stop the nonsense. Jeff Kent's a Hall of Famer. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick couple numbers there. First of all, 560 doubles, 377 homers, 1,518 ribbies, nearly 2,500 hits. He's literally at second base. At second base.
He has an MVP, too.
And an MVP over Barry Bonds. He played with Barry Bonds, and he got an MVP when Barry Bonds didn't. I mean, come on. And they fought. That was awesome.
Somebody told me, I can't remember who. I do remember, but I'm not going to say it. Somebody told me that was a teammate of theirs. I think the team might not like Kent. They don't like Kent. They like Bonds better than Kent.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Remember that? Bonds threw him up against that wall. And Kent is not a small dude.
Oh, yeah. Kent kind of came back too. Yeah. Kent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the time, Barry Bonds had the Incredible Hulk fucking, Bruce Banner stuff going inside, pumping through his veins. So.
Dude, I always wondered too, bro. Like, there's so many guys that you play against because baseball is such a game of failure. It just beats you down so bad.
Yeah.
That Astros team, like Lance Berkman and Kent used to come to first. I'd be like, "How you doing, man?" And Kent would just be like, "Oh man, just can't wait to retire."
That's so funny.
Blah blah blah. And next thing you know, he's like, "Rocket the gap, rocket." I'm like, "Dude, retire. You're 10 years away from retire." Berkman's like, "Oh man, I'm just grinding so much." I'm like, "You're grinding." I look up, 345,
unbelievable,
120 ribbies. I'm like, "What? You're grinding?" I'm like, "We're grinding out here."
That's so funny. Everybody, I used to hear. Hold on, I'm gonna write him up. I used to hear rumors that like J.D. Drew was like that. Like J.D. Drew was like the most talented baseball player ever, but it was just a job, and he didn't really love baseball that much, and would just go out and hit doubles for 15 years.
Chinch, I got a quick J.D. Drew story.
I'm
in Boston. Now they had. I wasn't playing. I was platooning. So I a lot of games I wasn't starting. It was towards the end of the year. They had his awesome ice cream machine upstairs. We talked about Dice K. Dice K Matsusaka. He used to go to this ice cream machine. He'd eat 4 or 5 ice creams. With it looks like Dairy Queen. Dude, it was kind of fun. You get the cone out, like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Comes down, soft serve. We called him Dice Cream because he ate so much ice cream. So the one night, dude, I started making it like one of my probably not so great habits at the time was have an ice cream cone with mix it in Rainbow's Jimmy's.
Of course.
Before I go out to the game. So it's like 6:50. I swear it's like 6:58. The game's at 7:05. 6:58, 6:09. I'm gonna get the cone and eat it on the way down, and then crush it, and then boom, I'm gonna get in the dugout, right? And I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So, bro, I'm getting my twist going, and I'm like, man. I look over, and the TV's on. I'm like, why is the TV still on? You know what I mean? Because usually it's not on ever, and it's a hunting video.
What?
I'm like, who's watching a hunting video? Right? I turn and look. JD Drew's on the couch. Just has his like underwear on and a t-shirt.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, hey bro, are you playing tonight?
Oh my God.
He goes, yeah, I'm playing. I'm hitting third. I go, it's 6:58. Like the game starts. This game starts in 7 minutes. He goes, oh, okay. He goes, all right. He comes up to him, as nonchalant gets up, stands up, goes downstairs. I watch because we
Oh my God.
Puts his uniform on. I swear, dude, I'm walking out with my ice cream cone, not playing. We walk out together. They're like, and now here's your Boston Red Sox. And then he literally went up to the field and ran out the left field, right?
Oh my God.
Incredible, dude. Not a sprint on it. First at bat. Bam! Bomb over the monster left center. I'm like, and I'm the only one who knows the story. I'm like, no one knows that I was just with this guy up in the food room 7 minutes ago.
God.
He is now starting in the outfield, and he just
hit a bomb. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. That would stress me out so much. Even if it's not me and I didn't see somebody like they're running late, I would have so much agita over it. I'd be like, come on, dude, you gotta get out there. You gotta get out there.
Like, dude, Chinch, you'd have been a mess, bro. You'd have been like, hey, bro, you gotta get out.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to do that with all you clowns. Like before like a big show. This is what always used to happen. Like, all right, let's get the guys out there, especially Tony P back in the day, and Ents want you to like kind of go over the segments before you start like a big show. It'd be. I remember there was one night I was sitting there and we're watching like one of the playoff games, and I was like doing the later show, and Harold for some reason was on like the earlier show. But you know, as soon as the game ends, MLB Network comes on. You know, as soon as it comes, you know how that works. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm sitting in a bullpen and I'm just watching the game, and I look up and I look over and Harold is sitting right across from me. And he's talking to me and I'm talking to him, and I was like, I look and it was like whatever. It was like I don't know. It was like an ALCS championship game or something, like 2 outs in the ninth. I look over and I go, Harold, you guys are on, and like it could be one pitch. It was like 0-2 count, whatever. He looks at me and goes, huh? Ground ball, second base. And I was like, go! Of course, Harold, by the way, who probably ran like a 4.240 in his prime, literally just went, it was like, you know, in a Bugs Bunny cartoon, or not Bugs Bunny, what is it when, yeah, Wile E. Coyote, he was like the Roadrunner. You just hear like, beep, beep, and Harold goes, poof, and there's just a puff of smoke sitting next to me. And all of a sudden I look up and we're on the air and he's just sitting down, like, you know how he is. He sits down sideways. Asks you to rip off a piece of your paper and give you a pen because he brought nothing to the table to walk up.
And Harold out there chews on the pen. Like I go to get a pen. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to write a note. I'm like, oh my God, the tops of the pens are all chewed on. I'm like, Harold, bring some new pens out here.
It's so funny. All right, well, we got to get rolling. You got a lot going on today. You're on again at 5:30, right? Yeah,
I'm on 5:30 to 7 tonight if you want to tune in.
Yeah, who's your crew?
I know Amzinger and Xavier Scruggs.
Oh, cool. That's fun.
Yeah, he's great dude. A great guy. Loves Singer, so this should be a good show.
All right, cool. All right, pump up the podcast on there. Tell those guys I said screw you.
I will.
No, I love them. I love them all. What's that?
All right.
Oh, all right. All right, yeah. We'll catch you tomorrow. We got a big one tomorrow with the Blambuski.
Yeah, love you, man. And anyone that hasn't checked out the Ed Mylett podcast, check it out.
Do it.
Man. It's gonna be maybe you can put up. It's on YouTube too. It's
on. Yeah, I'll put the link. I'll put the link to that show in our link. Everybody, take a listen.
Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Bro. All right, Chase. Love you, man. Everyone out there, have a grateful day. Have a great time. We'll see you tomorrow. See you, buddy.
All right, buddy. Love you.